Good morning, Laura.
Good morning, ma'am.
So today we are going to study internationalism.
Ma'am, what's internationalism?
Internationalism is globalization, which means connecting with people all around the world. In other words, internationalism is a political principle that advocates greater political or economic cooperation among states and nations.
So, internationalism is cooperating and connecting globally.
Yes, Laura, but it's not finished yet, as internationalism has its types and motives. There are types of internationalism that are 1. Hegemonic.
According to literal meaning, hegemonic means dominant.
Right. Hegemonic internationalism is the theory that the world is being integrated based on unequal terms, with the dominance of one nation or nation-state over others. For example, the total British Empire in 1897.
But ma'am, then only the host or the more powerful country will become stronger and the less influential ones will be dominated.
Yes. This kind of internationalism only benefits the host or strong country and causes suffering to the weak country and its people.
So ma'am, China controlling Tibet can also be an example of this type.
Yes, dear. Now I guess you get the hegemonic internationalism. So let's move on to liberal internationalism.
Ma'am, can I try explaining it?
Yeah, sure.
Liberal internationalism is an approach based on the belief that, through greater interaction and cooperation, nations and nation-states can achieve common goals, especially peace and prosperity. For example, the UN and the G8.
And it has the potential to increase world GDP through increased trade and bring poorer nation-states up from the basement of the global economy by including them in worldly cooperation. Any doubt, Laura?
No, ma'am, I get it.
Okay, so let's move on with its third type, that is revolutionary internationalism. Revolutionary internationalism, a belief that conflicts within societies are determined by international factors and alliances. For example, the protectors and supporters of the Vietnam War in America.
So ma'am, we can say that the watchful eye of more imposing nations and nation-states does influence the way another would operate within itself, and so the pressures of being watched can pressure them to do the right things.
Absolutely, because anything unjust won't go unnoticed.
Ma'am, all of these are types, but you were telling about motives also earlier.
Yes, dear. There are several motives behind internationalism that are 1. Self-determination, 2. Humanitarianism or global citizenship, 3. Peace and security, 4. Economic stability. Let's study them one by one. To start with, let's understand what self-determination is. So, basically, self-determination is the ability and desire to fulfill its people's economic, social, cultural, and political needs so that the nation can continue to exist and grow. For instance, the United States' involvement in the Middle East.
Ma'am, the USSR under Lenin and Stalin, about which we have already read, can also be an example of self-determination.
Yes, Laura, it seems that you remember your lessons very well.
Thank you, ma'am.
Now, let's get started with the second motive, that is humanitarian or global citizenship. This motive is a belief that everyone must help others in need no matter the situation, aspect, or person pleading for assistance.
This motive seems to be relevant in today's pandemic situation where countries are helping each other with medicines, equipment, vaccines.
Yes, Laura. Because of this motive and existence of internationalism, it has become easy to fight coronavirus.
Ma'am, the motive of peace and security is just self-explanatory, that having good relations with the countries will keep a calm atmosphere at the border and peace among the countries.
Right. And it's just the same with the economic stability as maintaining relations with other countries will open the door for international trade and commerce, leading to rise in GDP and opportunities. Now that you are clear with the topic internationalism, can you summarize it?
Of course, ma'am. What I concluded from the topic is that internationalism is the principle that everybody works together and accepts global responsibility towards any challenge that faces the world. This doctrine should be pursued to a great extent because it benefits nations and states by bringing them together and makes them more connected.
Good, Laura. That's a crisp yet informative yet impressive conclusion.
Thank you, ma'am. That was an interesting lecture.
Thank you, Laura. See you tomorrow. Stay safe and stay healthy.